Imagine stepping into a vast jungle teeming with life. In this jungle, the lion walks with an unchallenged aura of authority, while dogs, numerous and vocal, fill every corner with their presence. It's a world vibrant with the calls of the wild, where every creature plays a part in the symphony of survival. Now think of this jungle as the world you navigate every day. A place crowded with voices, each competing to be heard, to dominate, to survive. Have you ever felt like just another voice in this vast expanse? Have you ever found yourself wondering what it truly means to stand out, to lead, not just participate? Today we're here not just to answer these questions, but to transform the way you see your place in the world. Today you'll discover how to harness your unique strengths, much like the lion that doesn't just survive but thrives and leads in the jungle. You see, each of us has an inner lion, though sometimes it lies dormant, overshadowed by the cacophony around us. But think about what makes the lion the king of the jungle. Is it just his roar, his strength? No, it's his undeniable presence, the natural authority that silences the jungle with a single look, a single roar. Why then do we sometimes feel more like one of the dogs, lost in the pack, following rather than leading? It's because we haven't yet learned to tap into our inner lion. We all have this majestic force within us, but we've been conditioned to conform, to mute our roar, to doubt our inherent power. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you truly felt like you owned the room? When your voice didn't just add to the noise, but pause the hustle of the day. This isn't about overpowering others, but about finding and amplifying your inner voice to its fullest, authentic expression. Today, we will explore how to awaken this formidable part of you. It's about shifting from passivity to becoming the architect of your own life. It's about moving from the periphery of the pack to leading it. Not by outshouting or outmaneuvering others, but by being so authentically powerful that people cannot help but listen, follow, and respect. This transformation does not require you to change who you are, but to become more fully what you are. It's not about becoming someone else, but embracing your true potential, your unique capabilities and qualities that are uniquely yours. Think of the lion, so sure of its power that it rests in the shade, conserving energy until it's time to act. Let's start this exploration together. Let's learn not just to speak, but to roar in a way that commands the natural respect and attention of all who hear. Today, you start the process of uncovering and empowering the lion within you, and I am here to guide you every step of the way. In this world teeming with noise and number, knowing who you are is the first step toward becoming a force to be reckoned with. It's about peering deep within and recognizing the stirring of your own unique strengths. It's about realizing that, like the lion in the jungle, you have an innate power, a distinctive roar that sets you apart from the rest. Let's consider the lion, the king of the jungle. This majestic creature does not spend its days running about, led by the whims of others. No, the lion is self-assured, commanding respect simply through its presence. It does not seek approval. It does not waver. The lion knows who it is and what it is capable of. It stands firm, a leader by nature, independent and powerful. This is a creature that does not merely fit into the world. It shapes it. Contrast this with the mentality often seen in the dogs that roam in packs. These animals find safety in numbers, their identities tied up in the collective. Each follows the tail in front, each voice just an echo of another's bark. It's a survival strategy, yes, but it's also a way to blend in, to avoid standing out. Now let me ask you, do you find yourself walking with the pack because it's easier, because it feels safer? Or are you ready to step forward and lead, to find your own path, your own voice? Think about the leaders who inspire you, those figures who command respect, not through volume, but through the substance of their character. What qualities do they possess? I invite you to take a moment to consider this. Perhaps jot down some attributes you admire in these leaders. What makes them lion-like in your eyes? Pause for audience reflection. You might find words like courage, resilience, assertiveness, and integrity coming to mind. These are not qualities reserved for the select few. They are traits you can cultivate within yourself. The courage of a lion is not an absence of fear, but a mastery over it. The leadership of a lion is not about domination, but about guiding and protecting those in their charge. Imagine how different your life could be if you tapped into these qualities. Imagine facing a challenge not with trepidation, but with the assuredness of a lion. How might you approach your career, your relationships, or your personal goals if you believe fully in your own capabilities? Let me share a story with you. I once knew a person who felt they were constantly overlooked at work. Always part of the background, this person decided to change not by being louder, but by being clearer and more decisive, by stepping up with solutions when challenges arose at work. Over time, their presence became like that of the lions. When they spoke, others listened. When they led, others followed. They had found their roar, not by overpowering others, but by empowering themselves. This transformation begins with self-awareness. It begins the moment you choose to recognize and embrace your unique qualities, the moment you decide to be a leader of your own life. So how do we start this transformation? It starts with a simple decision to stop following and start leading. It starts with choosing to cultivate your inner strengths daily. It starts with believing that you too have a roar to be heard. As we continue today, I encourage you to think of ways you can begin to embrace these lion-like qualities. How can you lead in your current environment? How can you show courage today? What steps can you take to assert your independence? Remember, being a lion isn't about where you are or what your title is. It's about who you are. And knowing who you are is the first step toward commanding the respect and the influence you deserve. Together, let's awaken the lion within each of us. Let's move forward with the grace and power of those majestic leaders of the jungle, turning our environments into our kingdoms where we lead, inspire, and thrive. In the heart of the jungle, the lion's roar echoes, a powerful sound that resonates through the trees and across the plains. This roar is not just a sound. It is a declaration of presence, a statement of identity, and a communication of strength. Think of this roar as your own voice, the vehicle through which you express who you are and what you stand for. It's how you are heard in the bustling jungle of life. Now let's reflect for a moment. When was the last time you truly felt heard? When did your words not just reach ears, but move hearts and minds? It's a powerful feeling, isn't it? To know that your voice can initiate change, inspire action, and assert your presence. Yet for many, the thought of raising their voice can be daunting. There's a fear that often accompanies the act of standing out, a worry about being judged or rejected. But remember, even the mightiest lion must have faced doubts. The key is not in silence, but in overcoming the fear to let your voice be heard. Let me tell you about someone who embodied this courage. There was once a young writer who was terrified of public speaking, yet he had ideas that he believed could inspire change. His turning point came during a community meeting where he felt a compelling urge to speak on an issue close to his heart. His voice shaky at first, he shared his thoughts. To his surprise, he was met with enthusiastic applause and support. This experience was transformative. He realized that his fear of speaking up was small compared to the impact his words could have. From then on, he spoke with conviction at every opportunity, influencing many. This story highlights a truth we often forget, that our voices can only shake the world if we choose to use them. Like the lion, each of us must learn to assert ourselves, to communicate, not just for the sake of being heard, but to lead, influence, and for those looking to find and refine their roar, consider these practical tips. Stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with certainty. Your physical presence can dramatically enhance the impact of your words. In the jungle, every roar counts. Make your words count by being direct and to the point. Clarity and brevity will lend power to your messages. The best speakers are not born. They are made through practice. Regularly engage in public speaking exercises, join speaking clubs, or simply practice in front of friends or a mirror. Don't react to questions or criticisms. Take a moment to compose your thoughts. A well-considered response is always more powerful than a hasty reaction. Embrace feedback. Just as a lion sharpens its skills by engaging with its environment, accept and use feedback to refine your speaking skills. As you grow in your ability to communicate, you'll notice changes not just in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself. You'll find a new respect for your own ideas and values, and you'll discover the confidence to stand up for them. In embracing your voice, remember it's not about volume. It's about value. It's not just speaking up, it's speaking true. Every word you say should reflect your true self, your beliefs, and your intentions. Just as the lion roars to communicate its essence and assert its territory, let your words carve out your space in this world. So I challenge you today to think about what makes your voice unique. What message burns inside you, waiting to be heard? How will you use your voice to lead, to inspire, and to make a difference? In the strength of your voice lies the power to change, not just your own path, but also to light the way for others. Like the lion, let your roar echo not as a sound fading into the distance, but as a call that gathers strength, resonates, and inspires a whole jungle to listen and follow. In the natural world, leadership is not given, it is taken. Consider the lion the undisputed leader of the jungle. This majestic animal does not lead by following others. It leads by setting its own path, by marking its territory, and by standing firm in the face of danger. This is leadership that's palpable, a natural assertion of strength and confidence. Contrast this with the behavior of dogs, who often follow the pack. They look to the leader, waiting for signals on where to go next. They thrive on the safety and decisions made by others. While this might be effective for survival, it limits individual growth and leadership development. True leadership is about taking risks and setting trends. It's about not being afraid to stand alone and make decisions that may initially be unpopular. It's about having the vision to see paths that others might miss and having the courage to walk. Leaders, like lions, are not just part of the crowd. They guide it, they inspire by example and lead with integrity. Think about a time when you faced a challenge head-on, when you had to make a decision without knowing fully if others would follow. Reflect on that moment. What drove you? What fears did you overcome? Now consider the power of influence and inspiration in leadership. One of the most profound ways to lead is by example. This means being the kind of person others aspire to emulate. It involves demonstrating qualities like empathy, resolve, and integrity. Leadership isn't merely about directing others. It's about uplifting them, showing them that more is possible. To be a leader in both your personal and professional life, consider these strategies. People follow those they trust. Being genuine in all your interactions builds trust and forms the foundation of lasting influence. Just as the lion's roar commands the jungle, your voice should bring clarity and direction. Be clear about your values and goals and communicate them in a way that resonates with others. Show empathy. Leadership involves understanding the struggles and aspirations of those you lead. It's about connecting on a human level and showing care for the individuals within your team. Set high standards. Like the lion, lead from the front. Set high standards for yourself, and by example, you'll inspire those around you to rise to their own challenges. Provide support and encouragement to others. Recognize their efforts and contributions. This not only boosts morale, but also fosters a positive and productive environment. Think about leaders who have influenced you. Who are they? What qualities do they possess that you admire? Perhaps it's their decisiveness, their way of communicating, or the respect they command without demanding it. How can you incorporate these qualities into your own style? As you reflect on these leaders, also consider your own potential to influence. Each of you has the capacity to be a leader, to be someone who initiates change and drives progress. Leadership is not confined to titles and positions. It is an attitude, a way of being. let me share with you a story of a leader who inspired his community. This was a teacher in a small town who noticed that many children were dropping out of school because they were needed at home to work. He could have accepted this as a fact of life in his community, but instead he saw a path that others hadn't. He organized evening classes, adjusted schedules, and worked tirelessly to ensure that education was accessible to everyone. His vision and dedication not only changed the lives of countless children, but also transformed the community's approach to education. He was not the loudest in the room, but he was the most impactful. The story is a testament to the fact that leadership is about seeing the bigger picture and having the courage to act on it. It's about making tough choices in the pursuit of something greater. What kind of leadership? Ask yourself. What kind of leader do you aspire to be? What steps can you take today to embody those qualities? How can you, like the lion, lead not by following, but by setting a path for others? As we move forward, remember that each of you has the potential to lead, to influence, and to inspire. You have the potential to be the lion among dogs, standing firm in your convictions and leading by the strength of your character. Let this be your goal, to lead with courage, with integrity, and with the unwavering resolve of the lion. Be the leader who doesn't just walk the path, but creates it. In doing so, you will not only find your own way, but will also light the way for others, just as the stars light up the darkest skies. In the wilderness, every creature knows the boundaries of its territory. The lion, majestic and commanding, patrols its domain with an air of ownership that is respected by all who dare to tread near. This is not just about physical boundaries. It's about the assertion of presence and the respect it commands. Similarly, in our lives, both personal and professional, establishing clear boundaries is crucial. It sets the stage for how we engage with the world and how the world perceives and interacts with us. Have you ever felt stretched too thin? Overwhelmed by demands or perhaps taken for granted? This often happens when our boundaries are unclear or unenforced. Just as a lion controls its territory, we must define and protect our space, our values, and our time. This isn't about isolation. It's about healthy limits that enable us to thrive. Establishing strong boundaries is the first step in earning respect. When you are clear about what you stand for, what you will tolerate, and where you draw the line, people learn how to treat you. They see a leader who values themselves and, by extension, values others. Consistency in this enforcement not only builds respect, but also fosters a sense of reliability and trust. Let's consider a story that illustrates this beautifully. There was once a young entrepreneur who started a small business. In the early days, he faced significant pressure to compromise on his values to make quick profit. It would have been easy to cut corners, but he knew that quick gains never lead to lasting success. He set firm boundaries around his business practices, committed to transparency and quality, even when it meant slower growth. Today, his business is a leader in its field, respected not just for its success, but for its integrity. When you firmly establish what you're willing to accept in your life and what you are not, you not only create a safe space for yourself, but also invite others to rise to these standards. To cultivate such a presence, start by defining your values. What are the non-negotiables in your life? What principles guide your decisions? Once these are clear, communicate them. Be straightforward about your limits in relationships and at work. This clarity will prevent misunderstandings and minimize conflicts. Respect and recognition often follow the brave. They follow those who, like the lions, stand firm in their identity and defend their territory against compromise. Maintaining integrity, being true to your word, following through on commitments, and acting in alignment with your values is not only about self-respect, but also about commanding respect from others. Consider another example. A teacher who believed strongly in fostering a classroom environment where every student could feel safe and valued. She set clear boundaries around respect and engagement in her classes. Students knew what was expected of them and what they could expect from her. This consistency created a learning environment where students thrived knowing they were supported and valued. Her classroom became a model in her school, a testament to the power of clear boundaries and consistent standards. As we navigate our own territories, let us ask ourselves, what boundaries need strengthening in my life? How can I more effectively communicate my values and expectations? Reflecting on these questions can help you carve out a niche for yourself. Much like the lion who commands the savannah not through aggression, but through the quiet power of presence and respect. Remember, the boundaries you set are the ones you teach others to respect. Just as a lion marks its territory, let your actions and choices mark the parameters of your life. This isn't just about keeping others out, but about inviting the right interactions based on mutual respect and shared values. So let us move forward with the courage of a lion, the clarity of its vision, and the firmness of its stride. Let us establish our territories, define our boundaries, and lead our lives with integrity and respect. In doing this, we not only protect our space, but also create an environment where we and those around us can truly flourish. In every journey, the path is strewn with obstacles and challenges, much like the rugged terrain of the savannah where the lion roams. Yet it is not the presence of obstacles that defines our journey, but how we respond to them. Just as the lion faces threats with a composed demeanor, we too must learn to confront our challenges with grace and resilience. Consider the lion in the wild confronted by a threat. It does not panic. It assesses, strategizes, and then, if needed, it engages. The lion's approach to challenges is a lesson in handling our own difficulties. When faced with adversity, do you allow fear to take over, or do you pause, plan, and proceed? Every one of us has faced a moment when the path forward was obscured by shadows. Perhaps it was a personal loss, a professional setback, or a failure that seemed too large to overcome. In these moments, how did you respond? Reflect on this, because in these responses lies the essence of our character. To build resilience, it's crucial to accept that setbacks are not endpoints, but part of the learning process. The key is not to avoid challenges, but to face them head-on and use them as stepping stones. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur whose first business venture failed spectacularly. Instead of retreating, he used the lessons from this failure to build a more successful venture. He demonstrated that recovery is not about bouncing back to where you were, but bouncing forward to where you want to be. Resilience is also about maintaining your vision and your commitment despite the hurdles. It involves adapting to circumstances and emerging. Each challenge you overcome is a testament to your strength and determination, much like the lion that grows more adept at managing its territory with every challenge faced. Now let's shift our focus to the importance of sustaining success. Achieving a goal is a significant accomplishment, but the true challenge lies in maintaining success over time. This requires consistency, a consistent effort to stay focused, to continue pushing boundaries, and to keep growing. Consistency doesn't mean complacency. It means applying the same level of effort and dedication that brought you success in the first place. It means not resting on your laurels, but instead looking for new challenges and opportunities to grow. The lion, for instance, must continually patrol its territory, not just to mark its boundaries, but to ensure it remains fit and ready to defend or expand it. Lifelong learning and adaptation are also crucial in sustaining success. The world is constantly changing, and to stay ahead, you must be willing to learn and adapt. This could mean updating your skills, expanding your knowledge, or even changing your approach to reflect new realities. Leadership plays a crucial role in this phase. As a leader, whether of a team, community, or just in your personal sphere, you must show the way in embracing change and pursuing excellence. Leadership is about more than directing others. It's about setting an example of how to continuously improve and stay relevant. Remember, staying ahead isn't just about personal ambition. It's about setting a standard, inspiring others, and contributing to the greater good. Each step you take towards maintaining your success can serve as a beacon for others to follow. Just as a leader in a community or a lion in a pride inspires confidence, and secures the collective success of the group. As we reflect on these concepts, I encourage you to think about a time when you had to overcome a significant challenge. How did you handle it? What did you learn? And looking forward, how can you apply those lessons to not just achieve success, but sustain it? Success is not a destination, but a continuous journey. The first victory, that initial taste of triumph, is merely the beginning. Like a lion who has established his territory, the real work begins with maintaining and expanding that space, ensuring it thrives under his watchful eye. This is where the true challenge lies. Not just in reaching the peak, but in staying there, and it requires consistency, continual growth, and sustained leadership. Consider consistency as the backbone of sustained success. It's the daily commitment to your goals and values, regardless of the circumstances. Just as a lion patrols its territory regularly to ward off intruders, you too must consistently nurture and defend your achievements. It's tempting to ease up once a goal has been reached, but success is fleeting if not regularly reinforced by effort and dedication. The effort you put in must be consistent, not sporadic. It's about doing the work day in and day out, even when the initial excitement has faded. Now let's talk about growth. Lifelong learning and adaptation are crucial in an ever-changing world. Just as the savanna changes with the seasons, so too does the landscape of our personal and professional lives. The skills that brought you success today may not be enough tomorrow. Therefore, it is essential to remain adaptable, to continuously seek new knowledge and new challenges. This might mean pursuing further education, embracing new technologies, or simply remaining open to new ways of thinking. Remember, growth is not an optional extra. It is a necessity for those who wish to maintain their edge. And then there is leadership. Maintaining leadership is not just about holding a position. It's about continually inspiring and motivating others to do their best. This means leading by example, being the first to embrace change and the last to give up in the face of adversity. It also means refreshing your approach to stay relevant. Just as a lion must adapt his strategies to the changing dynamics within the pride, so too must you evolve your strategies to lead effectively in an ever-changing environment. To illustrate, consider the story of a once successful business leader who noticed a gradual decline in his company's performance. Despite past successes, he realized that his company's strategies had become outdated. Instead of resting on his laurels, he embraced change, investing in new technologies and adopting innovative management practices. By doing so, he not only reversed the decline, but also propelled his company to new heights. His willingness to learn and adapt, even after decades in the industry, ensured that his leadership remained effective and his company competitive. Am I consistent in my efforts? Even after achieving success? Do I seek out opportunities for growth and learning? How am I refreshing my leadership approach to stay ahead? Sustaining success requires that you remain vigilant and proactive. It demands that you continue to push yourself even when you feel you've reached your peak. It calls for a commitment to not just achieving your goals, but exceeding them, continually setting new benchmarks for yourself and those you lead. Let us not be complacent, for complacency is the silent nemesis of success. Let us instead be like the lion, who never stops asserting his dominance, never stops improving his tactics, and never takes his position for granted. In conclusion, remember that the journey of success is ongoing. The landscapes will change, new challenges will emerge, and your resolve will be tested. But with consistency in your efforts, a commitment to continuous growth, and a dynamic approach to leadership, you will not only maintain your successes, but build upon them, creating a legacy that lasts. As we part ways today, carry with you the resolve to be the lion in your jungle, the leader in your domain, ever vigilant, ever growing, and ever leading. Let your life's work be a testament to the enduring power of sustained effort and continual renewal. Throughout our time together today, we've journeyed through the wilderness of self-discovery and leadership, embracing the spirit of the lion in a world that often resembles a jungle filled with dogs. We've uncovered the essence of who we are, learned to roar with conviction, and navigated the terrain of leadership with courage and determination. We started by exploring the importance of self-identity, recognizing our unique strengths that distinguish us from the pack. Just like the lion who commands respect through its mere presence, you too have that inherent power waiting to be unleashed. We then discussed the significance of finding and using our voices, not merely to be loud, but to be heard clearly and effectively. This voice, your voice, is a powerful tool in asserting your place in any field, making your mark and inspiring. Leadership was our next terrain, where we differentiated between simply following the crowd and truly leading it. Leadership is about influencing and inspiring, about setting trends and taking risks. It's about showing resilience in the face of adversity, just as a lion demonstrates when protecting it. We also talked about the importance of creating your territory, setting boundaries and establishing a domain where you are respected and your rules are acknowledged. This not only brings about personal and professional growth, but also ensures that your contributions are recognized and valued. And as we move towards sustaining success, we emphasized consistency, lifelong learning, and the need to continually adapt and innovate. Leadership doesn't end with achieving a goal. It's about maintaining the heights you've reached and setting new ones. Now, as we draw our discussion to a close, I urge each of you to awaken the lion within. It's time to stand up, to roar with the full force of your being, and to take charge of your destiny. Remember, every great journey starts with a bold. Don't just blend into the background. Make your presence known. Make your actions count. Tomorrow, as you face the world, ask yourself, what will you do to stand out? How will you ensure that you are not just another face in the crowd, but a leader in your own right? What steps will you take to make your mark and inspire those around you? Let these questions guide you as you continue to forge your path. Let them remind you that you have the power to shape your world, to influence, and to lead. And above all, let them inspire you to act with the heart of a lion, proud, fearless, and unyielding in the pursuit of greatness.